Up, everybody? Welcome back to Devil's Advocate, a video game podcast. I don't know what happened.
It happens.
I just went back.
There's no reason to edit it out. We're just
Nah, leave it. It's better that way. It's better that way. But welcome back to Devil's Advocate, a video game podcast. I'm your host, Tanner Kirby, alongside my friend. And I just noticed your text is wrong, so I'm going to edit your text.
What text? What you talking about?
Your text on the video version. Keaton Kirby. Oh. It had my name over there.
We should just do Kirby one time. And
I know, right? Kirby. The Kirby brothers, Kirby. Kirby game coming out soon, by the way. Isn't the reviews dropping for that, what, this week or next week? I'm not sure.
Yeah, it comes out Friday. So, I actually haven't pre-ordered. I played the demo and I liked it. So I was like, I'm going to give it a try. It's also a nice palate cleanser after playing all this other crazy stuff.
Now, is it a baby game? Is it like Kirby's Epic Yarn where I could honestly sit there and move the thumbstick and I'm going to win?
No, I think it's going to be a little more challenging. Kind of like, I think Mario Odyssey challenging, or 3D World challenging, where it's like, It's not that hard.
Not that hard, but has some difficulty if you want to go further.
Yeah.
Like
so
if you want to do
kind
of collectibles and shit like that.
Yeah, and I just read a lot of the stuff on it, which I thought was really interesting because it has like a town building mechanic.
Oh, that's
cool. As you, whatever they're called, the Doodle-Dees or whatever, as you like save them, they unlock more stuff in this like shared hub space, and then you're able to actually upgrade like powers and stuff.
Yeah.
So it sounds like they're actually kind of reinventing the formula in some ways, and while keeping it the same, of course. I mean, it is 3D. And it's kind of cool because, like, in my head, I'm like, this game's pretty good. Hopefully, it's going to turn into what Mario Odyssey was, and it's going to be kind of more open world, like real thought put into like these hub worlds, because it is kind of like linear per 3D space that you play in. But like, you know what I'm talking about? Like, that would be kind of cool in Kirby setting too, because then like depending on which area you're in, what power ups are available, get into certain areas, like it'd be kind of cool. So I'm going to support it, see how it turns out.
Yeah.
And, like I said, it's after playing all these other games, it's going to be a nice little.
Exactly, man. I still haven't beat Horizon. I know we had talked about it the other day, and I know you haven't either. I need to get back to it. I've been playing so much. We could just get into what we're playing and stuff right now, since we already freaking started doing that anyways.
Yeah.
But I've just been playing WWE 2K22, which is really good. I like it a lot. If you don't know, the pro wrestling game. Since I was a kid, even when I wasn't watching wrestling, which I watch wrestling now, but I only watch AEW, the Tony Khan owned wrestling company. I've actually been to a few shows. It's really fucking fun. Keaton, you need to come sometime. It's fun. It's fun getting drunk watching wrestling. But embrace your Southern heritage.
Okay.
But no, the game itself is really fun. They changed up the control scheme. I'm not that big of a fan. It's more of a like combo based. Think of like Mortal Kombat or something like that, Keaton.
Interesting.
Which is different, but it makes me feel like I'm bad at the game now, and I've never been bad at wrestling games. I've always been like insanely good at wrestling games. No matter who you put me in a match against, I'm gonna beat them. It doesn't matter. But and I'll cheat or I'll use a character who you can't block their finisher or something. But in this game, it's combo, so you have to you do a punch, like light attack, and then you hit them with a heavy attack, and then you're doing a grapple move or something like that. Or you do heavy, and then you do like a roundhouse kick, which is kind of cool, kind of not, because the old games it was more like simulation-y, like it felt like a match, and you only had a certain number of reversals, a certain number of things you could do. This game, you can reverse everything, but they make it harder to reverse it. Like, you have to predict what they're going to do. So, like, if a person hit the heavy attack, you would have to hit the heavy attack. If a person hit the light attack, you would have to hit the light attack. And then there's random ones where you just hit the reversal button. So
Oh,
So there's a reversal button, and then there's like grapple, like you have to match whatever move they're gonna do, and you have to predict what they're gonna do. So it makes it a little harder to reverse everything, but there's no limit to it. So in the other games, there's a limit to it. So if you have three reversals and you counter three reversals, then you don't have reversals anymore until you gradually grow back up reversals. So I like that better because I would always get people to use all their reversals, and then I'm going to hit them with my finisher, and then the match is over. This one, it's a lot more of, they might reverse this if I do this. If they predict this right, they're going to reverse this. So it's a lot more back and forth, which is kind of fair to casual players and stuff, I guess. And there's no learning curve or anything. You could legit mash buttons and you're good. So it's more fun. I will say it's probably more fun, but I'm not as good at it, which can be fun, me not being just dominant, but still.
right.
But the creative suite in this game is awesome. This is the best creation suite.
Okay. The only question, because I haven't really played these, I just know the last one was a shit show.
Yeah.
So is it, just in your opinion, redeemable? Like, is this game redeemed the franchise?
Yes.
All right.
Easily.
That's what matters, right?
So there were rumors that if this game didn't do well, that they were going to sell to EA. So EA was going to start making these games.
That'd have been terrible.
Exactly. So there was a lot of people online that were like, even if this game is terrible, I'm going to buy it, even if it's awful, just because I don't want EA to have the license, which is fair. But there's a lot of stuff in this game. The community creations, so like the creation suite and stuff, they're cross-platform, so anybody from any platform can upload stuff, and then you can download whatever they make. So I've already got like a ton of like wrestlers and people and stuff that like look perfect in the game. I was going to show you this real quick. So, see Goldberg right there, and then there's my dad.
Awesome.
Yeah. So there's my dad right there in the game, and he's like fully rendered in the game. Like, so you can put like actual renders of people in the game.
That's wild.
Yeah. So like there's my dad. So like you'll come up with a matchup screen, and it's like you can make your own like cutout. So like if I wanted like a fighting look of me, I could do that and put it in the game. So like it's super cool. It's honestly like Smash Brothers when you go to the character select and then like imagine just seeing yourself. Like everyone is here. Like it's a good game, and the campaign on this game is actually really good. There's no voice acting. Well, there's a little bit of voice acting, but not much. And there's like a shit ton of storylines, which is really good for a wrestling game. Because like and it's like branching, so you can pick to go in one direction or one direction. You can be a good guy, bad guy, and then there's a ton of storylines and stuff that you can get into and feuds and. Like if you played it and I played it, then we could have completely different experiences throughout the whole thing based on, what company we work for. Did we start in an indie promotion? Did we start as an entertainer or on reality TV and then transition into wrestling? And then, what did we do while we were there? Like, there's a bunch of stuff that's like cool. Branching. Yeah, it's super good. They have a GM mode, which is what I was most hyped for in this game. General manager mode, that's where you like run the show, you get to book the matches, and then you face each other in ratings battles and then money battles, whatever your budget is and stuff like that. And then at the end of the year, whoever has the most money and the most fans wins. I played through a whole game yesterday. It only goes up to 50 weeks, so it's only a year. And there's a lot of limitations to it, so it's not like the GM modes of the past, which I loved. So that's my only gripe about the game. That's my only big gripe about the game, is that the GM mode's just not GM mode. It's very bare bones. You can only book singles matches and tag team matches, and that's it. You can't book triple threats. Okay. You can't book fatal four ways. You can't even book a Royal Rumble on the Royal Rumble. So it's like, what's the point? So that's my only gripe about the game. But overall, the game's really fucking good, and I think that next year they're gonna freaking nail it. And I think it's gonna be really good. But I'm glad I got this game. I haven't had a wrestling game in 2 years, and I love it so far. I've been playing the hell out of it too.
Yeah, I know it was yearly. So with him getting the new platform down, like the new skeleton of this new format, then yeah, like that GM mode, I would assume it would be nothing but tacked on from here on. It's going to be fleshed out more and more year to year. So
yeah, exactly. So I'm hoping. The hope is that it's going to get way better next year. But I think this is a great start. And if I had to give it a rating, I would give it like a 9 or an 8.5 out of 10.
Okay, nice.
So
That's not bad at all.
No, I think it's great. It's one of the best wrestling games that I've played in a very long time, which is high praise from me. Trying to think if and then Horizon, I need to get back to it. I just haven't yet.
I've been slowly grinding through Horizon.
Yeah, wrestling games are good. Like like when you have those like not shit TV, but like the background TV. Like if I want to turn on something to put it on in the background, wrestling is a good one to play and then play like a podcast or something or listen to a podcast.
Exactly. Yeah,
While Horizon is something I have to be 100% like in to play.
Well, it depends. So, like, if I'm sitting there chasing down question marks in Horizon, I actually will do a podcast.
Yeah.
Now, if you want a story beat, then yeah, you need to be fully,
100%.
attentive and paying attention. I guess you would say for if you want to get most out of it. And yeah, I'll just kind of dive into it. So yours is WWE wrestling, nothing, and then Horizon, nothing else on your.
I got GTA Online because it was free on PS5, and I haven't played GTA Online since the PS3. No, I played it a little bit on the PS4 since college, probably since 2015. I think my timer said 2016 for the last save, but I think that was my roommate actually. But it could have been me. I don't know. But I was playing that. The game looks gorgeous. I think they updated all the graphics and stuff for this updated version of GTA. Game's gorgeous, and they added a shit ton of stuff that I just had never seen before in it. So, like, I'm not surprised that game's still chucking because there's a shit ton to do and a lot of stuff, a lot of cool stuff. Like, it honestly made me wish that they made this updated version crossplay so I'd actually have some people to play with. Because none of my people on my friends list play GTA anymore on PlayStation. But, just going into it again was kind of good because I didn't realize they added so much stuff. I don't know.
Oh, it's been growing. Yeah.
I know. I was like, I own a nightclub and like I'm running a nightclub. Like, it's just cool. I like it. It's really cool. I wish it had more. I wish I just had more people to play it with. It's the only thing.
They got the next, we didn't talk about this on any podcast yet, but they have finally announced that, like, hey, we are working on the next, Grand Theft Auto. So, and really, Red Dead, I think, came out in 2018, and they were working on the next Red Dead because Grand Theft Auto, that one, 5, came out, I believe, in 2013, maybe 2014.
Yeah, it was early.
So, I still think it's a ways off, but, like, the next Grand Theft Auto is probably
2024.
I'm thinking the earliest we see is 2024, but I'm thinking more like 2025.
Yeah.
Which is crazy because that'll be over 10 years, before release. But we did get Red Dead 2, and I think they're going to really take that new engine and what they, got out of it from Red Dead 2 with the new systems and really take this next Grand Theft Auto, hopefully into out of this world kind of game.
I think it's going to be insane.
Because that's one of the
my only thing is GTA Online. Like, what do you do with that? Do you keep it going? Do you just add it? Do you visit an airport and fly your character to the new game and then you have all your
That's
shit?
what I was thinking. That's my, because I know you were kind of alluding to that, and as much care and attention they put into it, I could see them, whatever the new map of the new game is, they'll just take that and add it into the GTA Online universe, I guess you would say.
Yeah.
And then you can take, yourself to whichever one you want to be in. Is I would assume, because I just don't see them abandoning GTA Online, because that would be
you're abandoning your money pit.
Yeah, it's kind of odd, but at the same time, if you're able to.
But if it's on a new engine, I don't know how possible that is.
Well, the other one was, I don't know if it was necessarily new, but I think engine that's used at this new update. I mean, like I said, it's the Red Dead 2. I'm pretty sure, and that's they updated the Xbox as well as the GTA 5 for the new series, PS5 and Series X. So I'm assuming it's the same engine. So we'll see. That's a interesting how they're going to be able to manage to do that. I guess you would say because as you can see now, they're already marketing and spinning it off as its own thing, anyways. If that makes any sense.
You don't want it to be a Call of Duty Warzone, though.
This is what you say. Well, the way they handle it, I'm fine with.
Yeah.
Like Warzone's a separate entity, I guess you would say, and then you have releases of the new Call of Duty, however it goes.
What I was talking about was how they updated Warzone to be in Vanguard, and then they completely broke the game. And then they're just they're like, okay, well it's broken. Well, we're just gonna make a Warzone 2. They fully admitted that they're just gonna abandon this Warzone and make a new one. Because they're like, we broke it.
I mean, that could be a Microsoft thing, too, because I think Microsoft's already going to give them a year off after this release this fall. Right. So maybe that's one of the things where they're like, let's get a phenomenal, put some more assets in it, more time in it, and actually create, maybe. I'm not really too sure. But yeah, I hear you. I think it's one of them things. But I think Rockstar, man, they're going to, I don't know. They're just, I say that, but GTA Online, when it first launched, I think was really rough. And then Red Dead 2 Online was pretty rough when it launched. So who knows?
No one plays Red Dead Online for the most part. I don't know anybody who plays Red Dead Online.
Yeah, I probably would have if
I tried. Again, I tried. There just wasn't much to it.
Yeah, it was pretty bare bones when it first came out. I'm sure they added a lot of stuff, but I enjoyed Red Dead a lot more than I'd have it be a single Grand Theft Auto game. But I beat both Red Dead 1 and 2. And it's funny because I think
can't say that. I beat all the GTA games.
Yeah. We know Grand Theft Auto it's really funny in a way that I don't enjoy as much because I love South Park, and Grand Theft Auto reminds me of South Park. It's like the satirical look of, and also I think it's untouchable too. Mm-hmm. So if they do something that's controversial, GTA is just going to live. It's not going to be taken down. Whereas it's the same thing with South Park. Whereas Red Dead though, and GTA's satire writing and character, it is phenomenal. And Red Dead 2, they do the same concept, but they make it more dramatic, right? They're actually trying to make a more normal-ish story. I guess it's not completely wrapped in satire. So I think that's kind of why I liked Red Dead more. I guess I'm not really too sure. Also, I grew up watching a bunch of westerns in the background with my family because they all loved westerns. Yeah, so it's my version of aging up to it, if that makes any sense. So I'm like, heck yeah, man, look at this for Peter. This cold, long cold with fire.
Yeah. Do you remember when they showed the Red Dead? They showed the cinematics for Red Dead Redemption 1, and it came on TV. It was either during halftime or right after a football game, but they showed it on TV, Red Dead Redemption, and it was the first. It basically went into the first mission where you kind of attack Bill Williamson's fort or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then he runs off, and that's where the movie ended. It was just a little tiny movie, but they had it on TV, and I remember being, God, I don't know how old I was when that first Red Dead came out, but I remember me and my grandpa, I was at my grandpa's house, and he loved westerns, and I was like, Grandpa, we're going to watch this. And I made my grandpa watch Red Dead Redemption.
That's pretty dope.
Yeah, so me and Grandpa watched Red Dead Redemption, the little cinematic movie thing that they showed on TV for some reason. And then I bought the game, and I remember my grandpa had passed away shortly before the game came out. And it made me kind of sad playing the first Red Dead, but it also kind of made me a little good because I felt like he would be happy that I was playing an old Western game and stuff.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so it was one of those we have bittersweet memories of Red Dead Redemption 1.
Well, I mean, it's kind of cool getting back into GTA Online. So I'm gonna delve into. We're gonna have this new pattern, the Kirby Gripe of the Week or something. I don't know. And it's all
sending
gonna be
it to hell. This is devil's advocate. We're gonna send it to hell.
Exactly. So, I was very high on Horizon 10 out of 10. I am
Yeah.
now 9 out of 10.
Oh, okay. We're dropping it down a little.
Just some of the control scheme, dude. As more and more I play of it, and these jumping puzzles and stuff like this, and your character looking one way jumps over, you can't hit X. Man, I was in one main mission where, kind of spoiler, spin out, and this is like your first real main mission, but you meet the aliens. I'm gonna call them aliens. I know they're not aliens, but they're from a different solar system, that Sirius system or something like that.
Yeah.
And it's just one of them things where, like, dude, I struggled, and I was looking right at the ledge. She wouldn't jump to the ledge.
Yeah.
Like, then she would overjump it, and then you try to hit X, so you have to grapple to the point.
Yeah.
But you'd hit X, and then, like, because of the angle, you would, like, hit whatever this little silo thing is, and you fall in the water over and over again.
Right.
And I have found that to be across the board, like, frustrating.
Yeah.
And it's one of them things where, even in the open world, I found it very odd. I get, like, I don't know. It's just one of them things that it's, the way a game feels and plays definitely affects me. And now, like, I'm getting more into even certain combat things. I'm trying to, like, do more stuff with the movement and, like, I gotta quit saying like, I'm catching myself right now. But the jump offs with the melees, flying, slow time bow from the air, or bow on the ground. Like, if you slide, it goes into the slow motion without using, like, the click. Because I'm trying to use the way the other tools that the game intended, instead of always just hiding in the bush, getting my sharpshooter, taking off whatever detachable part is going to be a beast on the, like the, T-Rex things have the big rocket launchers. You take them out first, whatever, and then the whole fight's a little easier. So I'm like, how can I make this more as the game was intended? Dude, it is hard. And I know talking about the game is hard, but using these other tools and, like, certain combat encounters, it doesn't alert you enough to tell you that another machine is there. The game needs a parry, first of all. Yeah. I don't understand why does that have a parry. So with time, I've kind of got to the point where it's come down a little bit, and that's because I have played a little more Demon Souls, and Demon Souls does the opposite, where it doesn't look super smooth. There's areas where you can look at it, you're at the edge, right?
Yeah.
And half your foot's hanging off the cliff, but you don't fall off or whatever. The way you can turn and pivot in a 360 pretty much in the same area, it just doesn't look natural, but it's a game. And with that movement, the way it feels, you understand what's happening, makes a world of difference to me.
Right.
The systems make even more sense. The combat's more fleshed out. It's just one of them things where I wouldn't say it's more fleshed out, because I would say, in a way, Horizon's combat's probably a little more fleshed out, because it can be very extensive. Horizon can be, because, like, it's pretty interesting, because you can play that whole game as a trapper, right? If you wanted to.
Yep.
You can play that whole game as completely stealth. And I've noticed that certain creatures that are, like, say, hyper aggressive, then, like, if you have the tripwire, it helps a lot. But I've already put all this other stuff in there, and I don't really care to use the tripwire as much.
Yeah.
Like, so it's one of them things. And also, for another grapple in the game, I just messed with the tripwire too, and I put it down and I throw a rock at a creature. I would call it a creature, robot, and it runs and starts walking right at to me, investigate, and the tripwire's right there. And I'm like, you're this artificial intelligence that was created to take over the world, and it just walks right into it. I'm like, you gotta have a little bit more. I don't know. It's just interesting, I guess.
Like every computer, it has its blind spots.
I guess, but so yeah, I'm still enjoying the game. I actually like the story even more so now.
Yeah.
Because of, like, I think of it as if something really happened in our current situation.
Yeah.
What are the Hail Marys that, our world would do? And I believe a lot of them, in a way, have been fleshed out pretty well in this game. And I think that's pretty cool. Including, like, the first Horizon, I thought the story was really cool, creating this artificial intelligence, because it's over. So your Hail Mary was, it's going to end. But years later, we can begin again.
Yeah.
Whereas this one, like, you're finding out the other portion of that was like, hey, we're just going to send more or less this generational ship to this other planet that we think can inhabit life. Sorry, spoilers. I shouldn't have said that. But,
yeah.
It's
cool. It's cool. It really is.
I've only got one, or I've only just got Gaia up. Like, I don't have any of the other nodes or whatever they call. So I'm not far in the game. So it's not really a huge spoiler.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I guess I'm just taking my time a little more, because I'm like already level 21.
Right.
And that's the other. I don't know if the game does level scaling or not, but I've had like the level scaling, I guess, per the level of the creature, I guess, is what I'm kind of alluding to. Because there's certain creatures that are like level 16, and I'm 21 in the West. I can't remember what they're called now. The ones that the bigger like cat-like creatures, so like saber-tooth tigers.
Yeah.
Dude, them things are hard as shit.
Yeah.
Excuse my language. They'll sit there and they'll pepper you the whole time.
Yep.
Then they're super aggressive, super fast, and then you sit there and you'll have like seven or eight more. And in my head, I'm like, I can't even power. You can't power level to it. But I'll look at my berry pouch and I've upgraded a little bit.
Yeah.
And I'm going through my berries like fast as crap. And I'm sitting there like, and then like again, one of the few things that you can do on it is
mammoths.
Yeah, but if you detach the turret on that thing, it changes the whole game.
Oh yeah, you just grab the turret. And
but it's I don't know. It's just one of them kind of gripes.
Yeah,
but it's still a great game. I'm going to beat it. It's going. I'm working my way through it. But I just kind of wanted to. My biggest issue is definitely the movement. In some ways, it really gets on my nerves a little bit. I just wish they could do a complete free climb area because I think it would just make the game so much better.
Yeah.
My
issue wasn't with the jumping. Like I never had any issues with the jumping besides when you'd have to do the turnaround thing or the jump back thing. I would struggle with that a little bit. But my thing was with the claw thing, the grappling hook thingy where you throw it and then you grab like an object or like when you're trying to pull down a door.
Yep.
That thing is so finicky. Like you have to be standing at a certain, like you can grab it and then you're just stuck. So then you have to let go of it.
Yeah.
So then you have to throw it at a different direction, and then you try it again, and then it still doesn't do anything. So you go to the other side, and then try it, and then finally you see it start budging. So you're like, okay. But like I've done that so many times where I have grappled it, and then I start to pull it, and nothing happens. So,
right.
And that's just annoying.
It definitely has certain things that need to be, or could have been, I guess, ironed out. That's easy off, I guess you would say. But again, they are pushing that hardware. It's a beautiful game.
Dude,
the stories and the way the stories, like even side quests, are gorgeous. The way it's projected. So I'm not. It's hard to nitpick, because of what the game is doing. But at the same time, those little things, man, you don't know how frustrating it is when you're trying to do a jump puzzle and it takes you 15 minutes when it could have been done. Like in Breath of the Wild, you literally just climb it if you have enough stamina.
Yeah.
And it's just one of them things where it's just like, I don't know. And then like one of the things it always irritates me in this jump puzzle. And then again, this is one of the jump puzzles. Every time you made this long jump, she would grab on and one arm would fall off, just like in Uncharted. And you just think, and it happens every time. And it's like a solid 2 seconds. So you have to wait for this animation to finish. And I'm like so pissed off at this point anyways. And I'm like, just grab the dang ledge.
Do you remember when you were a kid though and stuff like that would happen? Like I remember when I played like the first Uncharted games. And I would do that, and I'd be like, oh shit. And now I'm just like, okay.
It's just, that's one gripe. Now, my next gripe, and we need to get on some stories, because we can go hundreds of hours. My next gripe's going to be killer. So I just want to say I am slowly getting more into Elden Ring. I'm just trying to hold off because I just want to spend, like I said, I've been playing it a little here and there, just because my brother actually is playing it, who is not a From Software guy at all, and he's loving it in many ways. Nice. He did power level, and he found ways to power level to kind of help him ease the process in. So I'm just glad he's enjoying it. But it is one of them things where it is I can't just early game, and I'm just playing it, and there's a couple of things that happen immediately, and you're just like, dude, this game is special. It is. It just is, and I can't wait to really get into it. And figure out more and more of it, because it is a special game, and it's like I've only played an hour and a half of it, and I can already tell you, I just want to have Horizon done, and so I can just fully focus on it. But the other problem is the other game I started playing is Tunic.
Yeah,
and Tunic is phenomenal. Dude, I love Zelda. It's probably my favorite franchise, and it is very, very heavily Zelda inspired, but with a little bit of 2D Souls, Death's Door kind of thing going on. But it is phenomenal. I mean, that's all I can say on it right now, because I don't have to dive too much into it. Very exploitationary. I don't know how to say that, word I'm looking for here, but beautiful level design. I don't even gonna say phenomenal combat. Good Zelda combat. How about that?
Yeah.
Good 2D Zelda combat. And It may get better. I'm not sure, but I know there's a parry system in the game, and I haven't got to that parry system yet. So I know that's going to be pretty cool with certain enemies and stuff because I can already tell like certain enemies would be way easier to
Now
parry.
this game's on Game Pass, right?
Yeah, and it's one of them things where it kind of cracks me up because I think Horizon Zero Dawn, like I think Microsoft and Sony are going to have a great year both this year.
Yeah.
It's just really weird. Sony's been dominating lately because they haven't had any. They really used this first quarter and second quarter, I think, way better, or maybe not way better. Maybe they're just giving other games room to breathe because Nintendo and Microsoft are still kind of fall heavy right now. But like, because for instance, Last of Us 2 was a June game, right?
Yeah.
This game's a February game. What's that game coming out? Ghostwire Tokyo, which is technically exclusive right now. It's going to be coming out this month.
Yeah.
Sifu, whatever, is exclusive, at least indeed, to the PlayStation platform.
Yeah.
And it was reviewed really well. So the Tunic's really the first one Microsoft has that's kind of like it's not a heavy hitter, right? But to me, it compares to Sifu, right? Because a lot of people, I hope I'm saying that.
Indie,
but a lot of people
AA game.
Well, so I'm calling it indie triple A's because from what I've heard about that Sifu, I hope I'm saying it right. Yeah. I am going to get that game. I'm pretty excited for it. It's just I'm waiting to beat these other games, dude, and hopefully it'll be off a little bit by then, in price. I think Tunic compares to that in a way because it's like I'm calling triple A indies.
Yeah.
But Tunic's more right now. It's more my cup of tea, anyways. And it's so funny because I know we had that conversation earlier, I think maybe when we first started back up on our podcast this past year, I was like, yeah, we were making like guesses with what's going to happen this year. And I said, yeah, we'll have at least 3 10s this year. And you were like, well, how do you compare that? And I was like, at least Game Informer and IGN was a 2, I said, right?
Yeah.
So Elden Ring got 10s.
Eat those words.
But Tunic came out, and Tunic got a 9.75 on Game Informer. I was like, come on, just give him a 10 so I can only be 1 game away. But again, a great review game. Yeah, I can't wait to get into that game. And I've heard weird things about not being short, but like it can be very long, I guess you would say. Like, people get in the 20s and 30s hours, which is kind of surprising, right?
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm like, I guess it's just the way you explore the game. And now this is going to be my big gripe, and then we're going to move on to the stories. Okay. So I play 2 games constantly, one multiplayer, just with other friends, and I practically play them at least 3 or 4 times a week. Rocket League and Apex Legends.
Okay.
Apex Legends I don't have as much of a gripe on. Now Rocket League, on the other hand, it is probably one of the most sport-like games that's ever existed. And what I mean by that, it's its own thing.
Yep.
The way you play it, the way you can play with people if you know people that you play with. Like, it is one of them things where you're literally getting better at it, and it's a game, but it's also like, it's hard to explain. It's like learning how to play basketball in real life. It's the only game that I feel like is kind of that equivalent. Like, yeah, shooters are shooters, sure. But this, like Rocket League, man, you sit there and you watch from any video of when you start a rank journey and going from bronze to diamond. And I'm so close to champ. That's my issue right here. Probably this is my rank that's going to get hit. So that's one of the few reasons why I really, really enjoy this game. Because, like, it is one of the few that I've seen myself progressively, like, get better at. And then learning the actual flow of the game, too, because they call them, like, rotations and understanding certain, even, like, kickoff plays and stuff like that. So it's, like, my best way of me kind of saying, like, close to actually, because I love sports. It's the closest thing to it. In a way, through a game sense, that you're actually learning how to play like a sports using a controller. That's the way you're learning a sport through a controller. How about that?
Yeah,
dude, I love it. I played it 2-3 years now, but man, their ranking system and that community is toxic as shit. It is terrible, and I wish Sonics or whatever their name is and Epic Games, and I don't know how you can fix it, but it frustrates the living crap out of me.
Why? Why are they so toxic? I don't understand.
The whole community is toxic, dude.
But why? Like, you're driving cars into balls. What's there to be toxic about?
No, when you're in Diamond and you're trying to get the chip, you're trying to, dude, if you whiff on something on accident, dude, if you get some people, they'll be fine. All right, but the other teammates will come back. For instance, open shot, right? Beautiful open goal. You miss it. The other team will sit there and they'll just spam nice shot, for instance.
Damn.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's stuff like this, and and I get trash talk. It's fine, but at the same time, like a lot of times it goes more extensive. Where and a lot of times you can mute it. Yes, I understand, but I think that takes away some portion of the game. But do you have a chat log just full of nothing but what a save, what a save, what a save after they've scored 100 goals on you? For instance, if you're getting beat that bad. And then on top of that, if they're on the same platform, they can type to you. You wouldn't be surprised about how many racial slang, like slurs,
in a car game. How do they even know?
sexual, slurs. It's one of them things where you're just like, it's just toxic, dude. It's bad. And I'm talking about even playing with like certain people, I guess you would say. Even like certain teammates will be like, go for it, right? And they won't understand exactly what's happening and rotate. They may be ball chasing. Next thing you know it, they'll sit there and be like, okay, well, they'll just give up. They'll just flip their car over and just be on the thing. And you're like tied 1-1 and you're one match away from possibly getting to a champ level, which is what I'm trying to get to on rank. But no, this guy, just because you missed a shot or you passed it wrong or you didn't approach something right. You know what I'm saying? Like all of a sudden, like this dude's being a prick about it. It's just, I don't know, it's toxic. It happens all the time in the game. They have a reporting system, but one of the big things they got rid of the reporting, and this is my other issue, is they got rid of smurfing, which I think smurfing should be. It is so freaking frustrating beyond belief. And what a smurfing is, you'll get these certain players whose main account might be like a Grand Champ or even a Supersonic, right?
Yeah.
And they'll sit there and create new accounts so they can play lesser level of talent, and they'll just completely destroy you. So you're sitting here trying, and what's bad about the ranking system is you'll sit here and you have to like grind through these ranking systems. And I've had it where I've got 5 wins in a row and did not move up any level, and then I lose 1 when I get put into this insane smurf, and it lowers me right away. And I'm sitting there like, this is ridiculous. Also, it's not point based either. And what I mean by that is I can play in a game and have a really shitty teammate matchmaker with someone who really doesn't beat my level. Because here's the other issue with the game. Is there's a lot of people who get carried by Smurfs and they get put into the same rank as you, and then you rank up with them. And let's say if you're a true diamond, you might be playing with only a plat, and then you're playing 2 true diamonds, you're at a disadvantage.
Yeah.
So that causes issues. So there's just all kinds of things like that I don't know exactly how to iron out.
Yeah, I wouldn't know how to fix that because, I mean, if someone's just getting carried by someone else, I mean, that's unfortunate, but, I mean, you can't demote them, obviously.
It's just bad, though, man. It's just, there's so many, and, like, I think on the ranking system portion, which I think would be better, is somehow you should weigh in per how much points and how well you do in the game. Even on a loss. Because, like, I'll sit there and I've played games where it'd be like 4-4, right? And I'll look down at my teammate. He'll have 100 points. I'll have 900. 6 saves, 9 assists. That doesn't happen, 9 assists. I'm the only one scoring. But, like, 4 goals, right? Mm-hmm. And then we lose. And then I get demoted. And then both of the players on the opposing team, neither have the same, scores I did. And neither of them were as good as I was. And you're sitting there, and you're the one that's getting demoted because of these issues. So, and it's bad because this is one of the few games that, like, it has a special place of trying to be a sport that is a game. It's the closest one. The esports, I know, is huge on it too. I know, like, League of Legends esports and stuff like that, but those are like more gamified, system-based games. But whereas this one's more like the way you perceive the map, the way your dexterity is in your hand, the way you can. That takes it to a different level, I guess you would say, and that's really cool. It's just they hurt themselves, man, and I don't know what you need to do. I hope someone hears this and this can be shot to them, but it's bad, and it can be really bad, super frustrating, super irritating. It's super toxic half the time, and I try to report people that are more than toxic, like offensively toxic. I try to report it.
They're offensive and something. I report too.
Like say the F word, and I'm not saying the F word as in a verb for having beautiful love with your loved one. I'm talking about the F word that's a bundle of sticks, kind of thing, and stuff like that. It's so funny, by the way. I saw it with my friends, and hopefully this won't ever get big and canceled. But I remember growing up, by the way, and that word was thrown around by everyone.
Oh, everyone.
When I was growing up, everyone. Yeah. And dude, that word is gone.
Yeah.
That word is gone from society right now. And it just amazes me. And I'm like, why, the N-word still lives. And I'm like,
Does
how
it
come
though?
it's not? It
Not
does
as
it in some
much.
ways.
In the generations,
Those,
yeah.
yes,
In
yeah.
the
The only
older
reason why,
generations, yes. And especially in
yeah,
our
right,
counties, yes.
yeah,
But
yeah.
among the young people, no.
Contextually, yeah, like the contextual word and what it means
Yeah.
in some ways, yeah, like you said, that's the older generations. But the N word, as in living, dude, it's culturally everywhere.
Yeah.
Like it's in so much music, it's in so much videos or movies. It's everywhere, right?
Yeah.
And that's the other, it's kind of weird because like I'm not saying you can't say that if you're it's a no-no, right? That word should not be used. It can only be. It's always a weird thing in my head. But then
Yeah.
at the same time, like if it's a lyric, for instance, do I just stop? You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? Like, it's just a weird thing.
Yes,
But
you do.
regardless, that word is thrown around all the time
It
in
is,
the
yeah.
game, and it's just one of them things. And every time it happens, it reports because it is just super annoying. And I don't know. So that is my gripe. Sorry, that's my. I know we spent a lot of time on these games, but hopefully, in one weird way, we can make it a better place to actually play games.
Yeah.
And common trash talk's pretty fun.
Yeah, trash talk's really fun, but
and
don't
sometimes it's
be
just really
offensive.
competitive. But you can tell, like, because it has quick spam chat, and you can tell if they're just being a butt, or you can tell if they're actually being like trash talking.
Right.
So, for example, if someone scores a goal, it's like, "What a save on you!" Right?
Yeah.
It doesn't spam it. You're like, okay, and then all of a sudden you shoot and make a nice shot, and they actually say, "Hey, man, nice shot." You're like, okay, this is normal. This is trash talk, right?
Yeah.
So then you're having this banter, and that's fine. Then on top of that, if you're having that normal banter, like I said, some teams, dude, you'll score a goal and both of them will just spam, what a save 8 times. And then you're just like, okay. You either say, okay. So I'll always just say, okay. And then they'll just come back and spam what a save another 8 times after just that, okay. And I'm just like, really, dude, you're literally doing this to be a dick.
Right, exactly.
And that's one of the, that's not just normal trash talking. But yeah, that's my rant. I know we're going to hit some stories out because we already, I know we try to keep it under an hour and a half. We're at what, 45 minutes already?
42.
Yeah, so
42
I was
minutes.
just thinking.
What do you think about that Harry Potter game, Keaton?
That's what I was going to bring up.
Segue us into the Harry Potter.
Dude, I can't wait for that.
Dude, I think it looks fucking amazing. I will be all over that shit. And I'm not the biggest Harry Potter fan in the world, but looks cool, man.
Yeah, I've read all the books. I watched all the movies. My wife's very big Harry Potter fan.
Have you took her to Harry Potter World? I think we've had this conversation.
No, we haven't been to Harry Potter World, but one day we'll go, hopefully.
It's a
well,
good
my
place.
daughter, which I'm actually holding right now.
Aww.
Maybe when she gets a little older, she'll be willing to go. She's going to be a Huffle. She's a Hufflepuff.
What are you? Are you a Gryffindor?
When I did it, when it came out the first time, I was actually a Hufflepuff, I think.
Ah.
And then I did it again, and I was a Gryffindor.
I was Ravenclaw.
But here's the issue with it, and this is why I'm kind of excited for this game, because I was talking to my wife about it.
Yeah.
Like, in your head, you're already like, which house am I going to be?
Oh, yeah, exactly.
And I'm wondering how
she
it
going to play
the story. And she will probably actually watch me play it. She don't like to watch me play too many games, but she'll probably watch me play that.
I was about to say, because like there's so many girls right now who I know personally who are like, I want to play that Harry Potter game.
Now the combat on the game, I think looks awesome. The combat for her, like, I think would be too much, right? But going to the classes, doing the potion stuff, like that could be her cup of tea. Whereas, like, I don't think some of that combat looks super extensive and a lot going on. Like, I think that part, may be, a little different.
Right.
But what I was getting to, like, on the sorting hat, I'm just so curious because, like, I wonder if it just lets you choose. Like, man, I want to be a Slytherin, for instance. You know what I'm saying? Or
it'll probably make you do like in the character customization. It'll make you do like a little quiz.
Yeah, like here's 5 prompts, and these 5 prompts the sorting hat will put you into. And then I kind of wonder, like, because like there has to be NPCs per each house, which means I feel like the story has to be branching in some ways, or at least knowing certain characters or side quests. And I know they haven't dived into that, but it has to be, right?
I don't know, man. It's cool. I don't know what the choices would be to get you into that particular house, or if there's quests or whatever. I know you could be like a dark wizard, because it showed you could do the Avada Kedavra or whatever.
Yeah, but I think it's based off. They had a little question after the fact or whatever with a not question, but a little developer interview, and it actually brought up your character somehow has ties to an ancient magic.
Yeah,
which I'm assuming is part of that. Ways of doing it. So I think that way, they're not going to sit there and pigeonhole you into one way. So your character is going to be special. They're going to be special. So yeah, it looks beautiful. I can't wait for it.
How do you feel about the goblins being the villains? I think that's a little weird, but that's just me. I never read the books or anything, so I don't know the background on goblins or anything like that, but
I actually kind of like it. I think it's kind of cool because, first of all, it's like you said, it's in the 1800s, so I think it's going to branch out more and more of that stuff. So I think that works pretty well.
It showed the not the I keep wanting to say Mines of Moria like we're Lord of the Rings, but it showed the bank, Grigott's Bank, the little underground area. It showed that, so I guess we're going to get to go to Diagon Alley and stuff.
Diagon Alley.
Yeah.
It looks pretty dope, and I think it's going to be, if they do it right and deliver right, it's going to be good.
Yeah.
I feel like it's going to be delayed though this year.
Do you really?
I just do. Yeah, because they said like late 2022.
Yeah.
I don't know how far the game is, and it's a possibility that maybe they actually baked in a delay, and that's what I mean by that kind of thing. Maybe it is.
They didn't give a certain date because of that.
Yeah, and maybe it was supposed to release maybe like last year, and they're just like, hey, we haven't released anything. And they're like, yeah, this game might be done by, let's say, September. They're like, all right, well, let's just bake it into the holiday, get holiday sales, as well as give us even more time so we don't have to crunch as long or whatever it may be.
When does the new Harry Potter movie come out?
It comes out like next month.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, do you think they'll time it with that? But I guess since it just comes out next month, then probably not.
Well, it is actually earlier. That movie is earlier in the timeline. Like I don't late 18s or early 1900s, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, they could have. But what's really cool about the game, and that's what I'm really curious about it, and I know it kind of had a little allusion to it, but not too much. But how can you create your characters? Because it kind of alluded to it. But can you just be like a dope, offensive wand master? Hey, girl, they can hear you. You know what I'm saying? Or like, are you able to actually be like a beast tamer and then use beasts as like summons and stuff, and like use them for combat roles? So that would be pretty cool. And then like, can you use like potions more? Like, how extensive is it going to be? Like,
I don't know. There was a bunch of cool moves and stuff. Like, I mean, honestly, it looked like something out of Force Unleashed with you just lifting people and slamming them on the ground.
I actually think, like, and I'm hoping it's a lot like Sekiro, and I know there's people are like, dude, what is this guy talking about? But, like, in Sekiro, it was a parry system. Like, it was heavy parry. And it looked like, if I was not mistaken, like, a spell deflection, one of the scenes, it looks like he's sitting there throwing out offensive and deflecting literally microseconds later. And he's just, like, left and right deflecting 4 or 5 spells while just bombarding. And I'm like, dude, if that's the case, and it is a rhythm-based, like, parry, like, I'm gonna love it, man. Like, honestly, this would be.
I want to see how evil I can be. Like, am I gonna turn into a snake man?
Yeah. Now, here's my big thing. Like, because I know this is just fun to talk about. Because in a weird way, the Harry Potter universe is dope as crap.
Yeah.
In so many ways.
Yeah.
I think it'd be really cool if, like, can you possibly have like a full Quidditch season and become a Quidditch star? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly. It showed him on the broom, but it didn't show anything with Quidditch or anything.
And like, how cool if it like that's a whole mini game like in Final Fantasy X when you can do a blitzball team and you're like micromanaging, like leveling up your players and putting stats in like certain things. Like, how cool would that be? You know what I'm saying? And then you sit there and when you're ready for the next game, you just go for it and you get to play the next game. Like,
yeah,
I'm just super curious of like how extensive.
Yeah, I like the thing where from Fantastic Beasts where you can kind of have like your own world within a world where it's just really huge. And he had a bunch of pets and stuff. I think that's cool.
Yeah. But yeah, man, like we just alluded to, it's exciting. It's really interesting because I think Sony was super smart to kind of put their name behind the game.
Yeah.
Because I don't think they're going to have anything. Well, they might have God of War,
Yeah.
But which I hope they do have God of War this fall. But again, like I said, that one could be pushed out too. But
Yeah.
Starfield's coming out this fall, and it's supposed to be this massive, huge RPG, right?
Yeah.
Well, here's Harry Potter, even though it's cross, but cross-platform, whatever, not cross-platform, but it's on every platform.
Yeah.
It would help them possibly be like, if they don't have any heavy hitters this fall, like, hey, we're going to put our name behind this and Gotham Knights, for instance, because I know they haven't yet, and Gotham Knights hasn't had a new showing yet.
Right.
But it would be very, smart for them to do that. Because I personally, this is, I think if it reviews well, I think it sells better than Starfield. Now, let's not say sells better, plays more, because again, this game
it'll sell more than Starfield.
It'll have more players, is what I'm trying to say.
It'll sell more than Starfield.
Yeah, I say that, and I'm hoping, and I think it will, because if it sells good, I just think Starfield is Oblivion, and people are excited. I don't know if you've heard some of the rumors, but like they're pretty much saying like it sounds like a true, just like you live your life kind of RPG in this massive, universal universe, galaxy expanding, whatever it may be. One of the people said that, I don't know how true this is, but every planet and or area that you visit is the size of Skyrim's map.
That's insane.
And it's going to have ship combat, and one of the map is just a massive metropolitan area. So that reminds me of like Cyberpunk, right?
Yeah.
So like Cyberpunk's pretty just that much Night City, and that's like, what if they have literally a version of Night City in this game, and then literally one planet over they have a Skyrim version?
Yeah. Which is cool, and that's what's really. But I don't know. I could just see it being like a No Man's Sky where you visit this planet and they got a little bunch of resources and stupid shit, but there's no point in going there.
I think they're just. I don't think it's going to be. More than like 6 or 7 planets, and I think each one's going to be massively detailed to the point of
could see it being storytelling. Like what's the Oblivion one with the moon guy?
My God, I'm not sure what you're talking about now.
The mascot's a moon guy, a moon with a face.
Oh yeah, Outer Worlds.
Outer Worlds. I could see it being more like Outer Worlds.
Yeah, but I don't know. Maybe, and. I don't know. I'm just excited for it. It's going to be fun anyways, I think. It's going to be great. I'm just kind of curious because it has been a long time and it's their first IP. Yeah. I just feel like they're going to come super hard, like really hard. And I think it's going to be one of them games that's going to be genre bending as well, where it's just like, just the way I think they're going to deliver it, because you don't want to miss, right? And that one game in itself, if it hits and it hits hard, it's going to be automatically everybody's going to be like, well, Microsoft wasn't wrong for getting Bethesda. Right. And besides that point, like, you already know Deathloop scored great 10s last year.
Yep.
You already know, from what I've gathered, I've heard Tokyo Ghostwire is actually getting ready to come out. It's actually getting pretty good reviews too, because a lot of people thought that was going to be like slighted, but it sounds like it's going to be a solid game. Again, that's both Bethesda exclusives, timed exclusives, because they're both going to come to Game Pass when that time's up.
Yeah.
And then I believe that whatever that vampire, Red Moon, what is it called?
I have no idea.
It's going to be coming out. So I know we had a little tangent, but it's going to be a good. I think that Bethesda, I think it pays off more, and probably will pay off more than them getting Activision personally. But
yeah, I think so too. I think there's a lot there that they can kind of. They've just got a bunch of exclusives now, and Microsoft and all Xbox people should just be very happy about that.
Yeah. Now, I know we kind of just talked about 2 big RPGs coming out in the fall that we're both excited for, but we left off the biggest one.
Which is?
Pokemon.
Oh, that ain't big.
Come on now.
It's not. It's too soon. Arceus killed my hype.
Which starter are you going with? Dude, you know you're getting it. When that game drops, you're going to be like, heck, yeah.
I don't know if I will, though, man. I'm kind of Pokemon'd out now.
I kind of feel the same way, because I'm about to beat Arceus, actually. But I know I'm still excited for that one, because it's going to be more of the traditional based on open world. And this one's actually supposed to be open world. So you're supposed to be able to weave into town, into wilderness or whatever. So that's really cool. So I'm like, yeah, I'm pretty stoked for this game.
The Johnny Bravo looking duck.
Johnny Bravo looking duck.
Yeah.
Quaxley, I think.
Yeah.
So far, I like the fire crocodile. I think he's pretty cute. It's funny because I just Yeah, actually, he's been getting a lot of like on the internet. I've been surprised.
The
A little
Johnny Bravo
quacky.
and Duck.
But I just had to say, like, I'm pretty excited for that game. It's going to be dope.
Yeah.
And also, I think Breath of the Wild 2 is going to hit this year too. So if we have Starfield, Breath of the Wild 2, Harry Potter, and Pokemon within a couple months span,
And
you might
Tanner's
as well
Steam
just
Deck.
block off this fall. Yeah, Tanner Steam Deck.
It's
because,
coming. It's coming.
Oh, you told me in an article. I don't know if you know any more about it or if it needs to be said anymore.
Oh,
But I
it's
actually
just
want a
just the
Steam
cloud.
Deck now. Oh, it's just a cloud version of Game Pass.
Yeah, I mean you can still get Game Pass on it, but you'd have to put Windows on it.
You can put Windows on it,
You
right?
can, but I don't know if I want to do that.
I got you.
It's one of those things where I don't want to, because it doesn't run on Windows as well. So I'm like, is it worth it? You know. But other than that, I mean you can get Xbox Game Pass cloud version on it, so you can basically play everything on it. So
Yeah. Well, I don't know if you can. I mean, I know there's a lot of stories we're not going to hit on because
No.
we just, first of all, we don't have enough play into it or know enough of the industry. Because I know, like, Ori and the Will of the Wisp, that one just broke with really bad culture going on, and that's all I can say about that. You know, like, I don't really know.
I don't know anything about that. So
yeah. What was a couple other big ones I know that we're not really hitting on? Gosh, it's been. We didn't even touch on the PlayStation State of Play, but honestly, I thought
wasn't
it was
nothing there.
it was just fun. I mean, I like JRPGs. And
I know that was more for you. That wasn't for me. As soon as they said they're focusing on Japan releases, I was like, all right, I'm out.
Yeah, I know a lot of people were ticked off about that Capcom game. They were like, "Oh, we're getting Dino Crisis or whatever." And then it was like, "We're giving you Anthem with a lot of dinosaurs," and people are like, "Ah, come on."
Ah, fuck.
Dude, Capcom's got that game and that other whatever game coming out with the astronaut. I can't remember what it's called.
I feel like that whole conference was like Square Enix stuff though, which leans in more to my idea of they're just going to acquire Square Enix.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. But the thing about Square Enix though, they supposedly have Final Fantasy 16 still to come, and they have God, what's the other one? It just was on top of my head. Possibly a new Tomb Raider, and possibly I don't know if they're going to have that Avengers license any longer. But like people were talking about today, they were like, Guardians of the Galaxy is the best Square game.
Yeah, but it didn't sell well.
In years.
Didn't sell well though.
That's probably true.
It is. It was my favorite game last year, man. It was great.
I gotta get to it.
Didn't sell well.
But yeah, I don't know, man. That's like I'm just kind of trying to run through news. I just can't think of any more, to be honest with you. Any other big things?
It's all good. We reached the hour mark, so we'll see you next time, guys. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Devil's Advocate, a video game podcast. Be sure to hit the like on the podcast page. Be sure to leave a review, give 5 stars, all that good jazz, and we will see you next time.